Some stories defy reason. They begin not with lightning or fire, but with a whisper. Jack Warren never believed in God. He never prayed, never questioned the silence in his life. He was raised without faith, shaped by science, sharpened by logic. To Jack, religion was an outdated relic, a comfort for people afraid of reality. He mocked it quietly, sometimes loudly, and lived by the rule: if it can't be proven, it doesn't exist. At 39, Jack had everything he thought he wanted. A well-paying job as an aerospace engineer, a condo overlooking the city skyline, and shelves filled with books about black holes, artificial intelligence, and the meaninglessness of life. He thought he was content until the dreams began. First one came unexpectedly. Jack went to bed with a glass of red wine and a mind full of physics. He closed his eyes and soon found himself standing in a vast, empty field. The air was thick with stillness. No wind, no stars. Then, from the silence, a voice, not loud, not soft, not male, not female. Just 3 words spoken from nowhere and everywhere. I am real. Jack woke in a cold sweat. He brushed it off. Brains do weird things. Dreams are noise. But the next night, it happened again. Same field, same silence, same words. I am real. Jack couldn't explain the unease. He wasn't afraid of dreams. He was afraid of what they might mean. By the 4th night, the words expanded. I am real. I made you. He jolted awake, heart racing. He didn't share it with anyone. He didn't want to be pitied or diagnosed. He wanted it to stop. He tried. Pills, meditation, audiobooks. He even removed every cross or spiritual object from his apartment, just in case his subconscious had absorbed something. But the dreams returned. I am real. I made you. I love you. Jack hadn't heard the word love in months. His last relationship ended with bitterness. He hadn't called his sister in over a year. His parents were gone. He had built a fortress around himself, and now this voice, this presence, was climbing the walls. One night, out of frustration, he spoke back. If you're real, say something else. He fell asleep gripping his pillow like an anchor. In the dream, he stood again in the same field, knees weak. The voice returned. I have always been. Jack fell to the ground, not from terror but from truth. He felt it, not imagined, not dreamed, felt. The next morning, he sat in his kitchen for hours. He didn't turn on his phone. He didn't shower. He just stared out the window, replaying every word. That afternoon, he walked past a bookstore and noticed a Bible on display. He laughed out loud. But something stopped him. He turned, went in, bought the Bible, cash only. No small talk. At home, he placed it on his table like a ticking bomb. Hours passed. Finally, he opened it at random. His eyes landed on a verse, John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. His breath caught, the voice from his dreams. The I am. It wasn't random. That night, no dream came. But the next morning, something stranger happened. At work. During a meeting, a colleague turned to him and said quietly, I had this weird feeling last night that I was supposed to tell you. Jesus loves you. Jack froze. He hadn't told anyone. No one knew. His hands shook under the table. He left work early. Walked for hours. Ended up in a quiet park. He sat on a bench, looked up at the sky, and whispered, Jesus, I don't believe in you, but you clearly believe in me. I don't know what's happening, but I'm listening. That night, he dreamed again. But this time, there was light. A figure stood across the field. Not glowing, not thunderous, just gentle, peaceful. Jack tried to speak, but couldn't. The figure raised his hand. Then he smiled. Jack wept. The next morning, he didn't question. He knelt by his bed, alone, and said the words he never thought he would. Jesus, I believe. You are real. I don't know what comes next, but I believe. He expected nothing. But inside, something unlocked. Peace. Deep, lasting, impossible peace. For the first time in his life, Jack felt like he belonged to someone. Not just to science, or data, or the next achievement, but to a presence that knew him before he knew himself. He joined a small church, sat in the back for weeks, just listened. He started reading the Bible, not like a critic, like a son searching for his father. One day, he told his story to the group. As he spoke, another man opened his Bible and read aloud from Exodus 3:14. God said to Moses, "I am who I am." Jack's eyes filled with tears. The voice, the dream, the words, "I am real." It all connected. Now, Jack speaks quietly but boldly. He doesn't argue theology. He doesn't debate. He simply tells people what happened, not to convince them, to invite them, because maybe someone else is hearing whispers too. Maybe someone is afraid they're going crazy. Maybe someone has felt alone in the night and wondered if anyone sees them. Jack knows that loneliness. He also knows it's not the end of the story, because there is a God who speaks, a God who waits, a God who whispers again and again into fields of silence. I am real. I made you. I love you. And sometimes, that's all it takes to break open a heart. So if you're reading this or watching this and wondering whether he's calling you, maybe he is. Maybe the dream you can't explain is the beginning of something you never expected. Jack thought he was an atheist, but God never stopped believing in him, and he hasn't stopped believing in you either. If this story stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone. Leave a comment. Subscribe to Faithlight Stories for more true encounters of God's pursuit. And remember, He is real, He is calling, and He always answers.